Hey guys, it's Shin, and today I just wanted to do a really quick, short, simple video talking about version 4.3 and your potential options for that patch when pulling. So, starting off, let's just discuss the banners themselves. So, we've got one new character, Mortonek's Blade, and then we've got him running alongside Yao Guang in the first phase of version 4.3. And in the second phase, we have Cyrene and Finan, and obviously their respective light cones. So let's get right into those real quick. So just a brief summary on what these characters do. Mortonek's Blade, he's a fire nihility unit that basically his base kit just replaces Jiaocho for Acheron. His basic attack, attacks and then also taunts the enemy. He unlocks his skill when using his ultimate to go into infinite fury state that shreds defense, increases damage received for 2 turns, and then which it also buffs his crit rate and crit damage. And then when the zone's active, anytime your allies attack an enemy, it inflicts that balefire bind onto the enemy, shredding their defense. And then he can perform a follow-up attack when 9 charges are consumed from applying that debuff. So he is kind of a weird tank kind of character because his ultimate form, like his infinite fury state, allows him to revive if he dies. And he has a taunt debuff applied with his basic attack. And he also has a trace that gives him more aggro. So he's kind of in a weird spot where he's Jiaocho, but with Preservation Trailblazer with the taunt. And like when Acheron first came out, I used Preservation Trailblazer to kind of do a pseudo sustain with the fact that his skill gave a taunt, which counts as a debuff. So that is just something to keep in mind. So he's really, unless you get into Eidolons, he is best for Acheron, but he's also just a really good debuffer as well. So you can put him in other teams, which I will be testing out when he comes out. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and to follow me on Twitch to see that when it comes out. He is an HP scaler as well, just to keep that in mind. So you're going to want to collect those pieces. So for him, his just really good. I think he's going to be a great character. I'm biased because I love Acheron and I love to see me some Acheron support. You know how it is. But just some quick pieces for him. For his 4-piece main set, it's going to be Divine Querying Master Smith. The 2-piece just increases his HP, and the 4-piece increases the wearer's crit damage to enemies with defense reduction. And then after inflicting a death reduction state on an enemy, gives the party Comburant, which it cannot be stacked, and buffs the damage allies with Comburant by 15% as well. And then for planner sets, you're really just, as of right now, Bone Collector is going to be a really good option for her. Bone Collection is going to be a really good option for him. Otherwise, if you wanted to, you could run City of Converging Stars, because he does, do a follow-up attack. So you could, in theory, use that as well. And then once you kill an enemy, just buffs the crit damage of the entire party. So it does buff him directly as well. But I personally am leaning more towards Bone Collection. But obviously, I'm probably going to test it and see which one I like better. So next up, we're going to talk about one of the most controversial characters in the version, Yao Guang, also rerunning for the first time in the first phase of version 4.3. She is a 5-star physical elation unit who focuses on using her ultimate to trigger Aha instance and buff elation damage. This character is very controversial because she came out before any other elation characters came out, so people were skipping, and now that elation is so strong and so powerful, and just you either love it or hate it. It's just really divisive right now, and it's if you pulled her, you're eating good. Otherwise, if you didn't pull her and you don't like elation, you're not missing out on much. But I think an issue for her is that she really likes her light cone because it gives the team 10% crit rate and additional crit damage. And it also gives her speed because she really wants a lot of speed. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, because this is very casual, top of my head, I think she wants as close to, if not 200 speed as humanly possible. So just to keep in mind that. But she also does give SP, but she also does have some more utility in the sense that whenever she uses her elation skill, it recovers a skill point due to one of her ascension traces. And she just is really good for any elation team. If you like Evanescia, if you like Super Wolf, and any potential future elation DPS, they are probably going to, in some way, really love Yao Guang. So if you are interested in elation, definitely think about picking her up. Now for phase 2, this is where things get a little tricky, and I'm gonna be straight up, I'm gonna be biased for this. We're gonna get the biased one out of the way. We're gonna talk about Finan. He is a 5-star physical destruction unit who is kind of the opposite of Acheron, where he is a super hyper carry. He just wants to get buffs applied to him to unleash his ultimate, where he turns into Kevin Kaslana and just Madara meteors the enemies into oblivion. And it's really cool. His animations are insane. But with how the game is going right now, it's kind of a struggle for him unless you have some vertical investment into him. Whether that is his light cone. I know a lot of people hype up his E2, which it is fantastic. But just to keep in mind, he is a push unit from a year ago, almost a year ago. But here's the thing. He also ties into the next character that is rerunning. I like him, but my bias is Evanescia does just as much, if not more damage, easier, in my opinion. Because if you have Sunday for Finan, because I know a lot of people run Sunday with Finan, you just run Sunday, Elation Trailblazer, who's free to play, and Hua, who is free to play, by the way, and you have an amazing crit DPS variant of Evanescia and just shitting out so much damage. I think Evanescia is the better unit between the two, personally speaking, but if you like Finan, he's still fantastic. I recommend you build him out, pull who you like, and play how you like, because that is the name of the game. But that's just my take on this character. Next up, we have the last unit of version 4.3, Cyrene, an ice remembrance character, who her niche is, she is kind of a pseudo upgrade / replacement to Remembrance Trailblazer, but that's really just in like Casterus, like Mono Remembrance, and there are certain characters that benefit from her specifically because of her unique gimmick, being that she buffs Chrysos heirs. Now, not all Chrysos heirs like having her, but a controversial one, depending on just personal preference, Finan also really likes Cyrene because of her effect allows him to infinitely stay in his Kaslana state once you get in. So you just need to get it once and then you're done. But if you like the Chrysos heirs, I think that is the best reason to pull for Cyrene, because she is an incredibly strong unit, especially if you like Aglaya, Mighty. I think Anaxa does pretty well with her personally, but the biggest issue is her ult is kind of niche because it requires allies to attack, and especially Memo Sprites, because you need Chrysos heirs and Memo Sprites to kind of get the most charge uptime on her, because that's how she recharges her ultimate. And then she also does pretty good damage. Her light cone is also very strong for her because it gives her speed, and once she hits a speed threshold, she also starts buffing damage for the team, and she buffs like true damage. So I think Cyrene is a really good option, especially I know a lot of people love running Cyrene Remembrance Trailblazer as like kind of a pseudo core, but I don't think it's that good or universally good enough to play. And I think it's just more of a niche kind of hack. In my opinion, generally speaking, I don't think she's that good to warrant the pulls right now. But that's just my opinion. I think she's really fun. I love using her with my Aglaya on my main account. So that's, I think she works really well in that team, so that's why I use her in that. But one more thing I would like to talk about in this video is 4.4. Obviously, it's coming right after 4.3. In case you missed math class, 4.3 comes before 4.4. With 4.4 coming right after it, it's really hard to recommend pulling anyone, if I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. Himiko Nova being right around the corner as the second push DPS of this version. She is, I am assuming, going to be absolutely insane. We know nothing about her kit as of right now, as of the recording of this video. We know nothing what she does, but she is expected to be absolutely insane. And then there's a elephant in the room being the Fate Stay Night collab part 2. Rin Tosaka and Gilgamesh are also making their debut in version 4.4 as well. Not at the beginning, but they're going to be there. So they are going to be really, really strong if they're anything like Saber and Archer, especially, you know, Archer being free and being one of the best DPSs in the game. I have high hopes and expectations for Gilgamesh as well, but I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys as well. Now, if you were going to ask me for my opinion, I would say unless you really, really, really love Acheron and you have her at like E2, you have her light cone, or you have just her light cone and you have Cypher, then I could see you pulling Mortonak's Blade. But otherwise, I think right now, save your pulls for Himiko Nova for the Fate collab, and just especially if you're free to play, I think that kind of is the better play. Yao Guang, fantastic pull, especially if you love Elation and you don't have her, or you have her but not her light cone. Definitely scoop it up. It's such a great choice. And Finan and Cyrene, I would only recommend them if you really like them. They are great characters. Their story was amazing. Their gameplay is quite fun. But personally speaking, I do not enjoy them that much. So I would be skipping personally. My free-to-play account, I'm skipping this entire version in saving for Himiko Nova and the Fate Stay Night collab. But with that, I pass the question on to you. Who are you pulling in version 4.3? Are you pulling everyone? Are you pulling no one? Are you saving for Himiko Nova? Or are you just going all in on the Fate collab? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you like this type of content. Subscribe for more of it. I'll see you guys next time.